Do you know that the health insurance industry, the brokers and that work in the industry, everybody was for the ACA, the Affordable Care Act. And what did it do? To make insurance cheaper, it didn't create efficiencies. No. It caused what? Number one, insurance brokers to take less money. Yeah, less money. When premium goes up on the plan, I don't make more money. I get a flat fee per head, whether it's higher or lower, and whether I do a great job or not do a great job. There is no, I don't get bonus by United Healthcare. If I do an incredible job for the people I have on health insurance benefits, like answering calls on Sunday, like my friend's mother, she had an incident on Sunday, I answered it, I found all the answers, and Blue Cross Blue Shield was closed. But I was on the phone late Sunday night helping them as their mother went into the University of Chicago. Now, she's Korean. This is a Korean client of mine. And here I am. Actually, they called me when I was downtown about 10 or something o'clock at night, and I was pulled over on Fullerton Avenue. North Avenue. I pulled over on the side of the road and giving them everything doing because the paramedics were coming to pick up their mother. The mother was going in, and I was going over everything on the insurance plan. But I get paid the same. There's no, profit sharing. I don't get a match from Blue Cross Blue Shield and nothing. And I don't get anything. Any bonuses, any performance. So I get paid the same as any other insurance agent. And I think that's a bunch of bullshit. But all these people around the country wanted Obama, oh, it's great, Obama. He screwed every financial service person in the country and the industry. And then he made all the banks and everybody else to be the evil. And it's a bunch of BS. So I get paid a flat fee per head. I don't get any bonus. United Healthcare doesn't give me health care. They don't give me pension. They don't give me anything as an insurance agent. I don't get anything added. I just get the flat fee. It goes through Flexible Benefits as my general agent. They don't offer me any benefits as an independent producer through the general agency. Flexible Benefit. They offer me nothing. They don't give me any bonus if I service the plan well, and I get no retention bonus if the plan stays with Flexible Benefit. I don't get anything. And all these employees out here, I work in a business, I don't get anything. And guess what? When I'm doing poor financial services, money management, when I'm doing poor and the returns on my employee or my customer's portfolio goes down, I make less money. And when my client does better, I make more money. So if I do a better performance, I make more money. And if I do a worse performance, I make less money. These employees, like at Starbucks, they don't make less money if they do a horrible job, like the lady at Service Me that screwed up my order, or at Dunkin' Donuts. They get $10 an hour. Whether they do a good job or a bad job, they still get $10 an hour. All the field I work in, everything was incentive, like the restaurant business, tipping. I worked on the base pay, like $4 an hour or something. And if I didn't do things right, I got shitty tips. But I served all the time, and I made more than 20%. when tipping was 15%, because I went beyond and above for the people that I was servicing at the table. Great table maintenance, paying attention to my customers. And so I never left on any of my stuff with less than 20% average tip. So I don't get it. I've been in performance-based, and if I do a shittier job, I make less, and if I do a better job, I make more. But all my work is based on performance. All these scumbags, and that's why I hate Medicaid and Medicare and all this socialized bullshit. So I get the same Medicare upon retirement that everybody else gets. But if you look at good corporations, executives get better benefit plans than base employees. There's better compensation, so on and so forth. So if you do better and move up the food chain, life gets better. But if you don't do better, then you stay where you deserve to be. So I'm going to retire and I'm going to get the same Social Security as everybody else. There's no reward for being a good citizen, helping the United States government, helping and making America greater. There's no benefit in Medicaid or welfare or anything. I get the same as everybody else. I get the same as the worst person in the United States. I get the same benefits as the worst person in the United States, like the person who just almost hit me with the handicap sticker. I get the same lifestyle as a person who deserves to be handicapped, who did it to themselves. And I didn't. All these people brought fighting their battles, brought all their stress and their into my life. But now I'll receive the same disability benefits as everybody else. This is a unrighteous world, and God's going to end you all. You are unholy. You put me in, and I get the same benefits as some scumbag. As I pointed out, the benefits of people in prison. They get their meals paid for. They get their room paid for. They get their sheets and laundry and medical care and so on. They don't have to pay for the heating and the air conditioning, and everything is taken care of for them. So I'm wondering, I was for tent city. No heating, no air conditioning. Sleeping in a tent like our military troops. But it's good for our military, but it's not good for our prisoners. They should have something much better. So, where is the punishment in life? Truly. I mean, like I published an article about the prisoner getting a sex change and the government was going to pay for it, and then all the meds and everything else. What punishment? So I don't understand. So my whole life, either I performed or I didn't get paid. Now everybody, I go into Starbucks and that chick can screw up my order and she still gets employee stock. She gets health care and stock purchase plan and 401k match and you name it, all the benefits. And she does the job horribly. Horribly. And she gets all of that. All my jobs, I work without benefits. None of the hospitality places had any benefits. Except the Phoenician. They had 401k in that. So I had a 401k there. But a lot of my jobs, I worked no benefits. Straight pay. Waiting. And I took a reduced pay. And I made my money on tips. So I don't get it. But all these people get everything. And I paid for my health care in college. I was on student health. I paid that health care bill. I enrolled in student health, and I paid for my own health care. I didn't take Medicaid or anything else. I paid for my own student health. So I had my own health insurance at Arizona through the student health. I paid for it myself. So everything I took was based on performance. Just like getting a grade in the class, it's based on performance. Either you perform better or you perform worse. And the grade is based on performance. I don't know why pay isn't based on a variable scale based on performance only. So you can make $15 an hour, but you can make $0 an hour. So I don't understand this. This is why this country sucks. This is why you have so many shitty employees. They negotiate these minimum wages and these people suck. That's why Ford almost went bankrupt. Chrysler went bankrupt 2 times. And the other companies went bankrupt. It's a bunch of BS. You pay people based on performance. And lack of performance, you dock wages like they do in the military. Do you know in the military, if you don't perform, they strip you of rank. And that rank reduces your pay. Yeah, in the military, they strip you of rank. And that rank reduces your pay. So they take away stripes. They take away rank. Truly. And then if you continue to do it, they put you in prison for derelict of duty. And the MPs come in and they throw you in prison. But they move like this. They take away pay really quick. They demote you. There's even classes for the base soldier. Yeah, there's E1, E2, E3, and they will demote you right back to basic pay, E1. So I don't get this. They should be basing this pay based on performance. And if you don't perform, they should be stripping you. It's called punishment. You suck. And you deserve to live shittier. But some reason, no one deserves to live shittier. The only good thing about the homeless is they deserve to live shittier. They were living shittier. So, I don't get it. So, everybody deserves everything. It's a human right. Really. Everything is a human right. Everything is a basic necessity. Nothing, you don't have to do anything to get everything. That was the Occupy Wall Street. They didn't want to do anything to get everything. They said everything should just be given to them. And that's why I hate the government giving out pay and giving out benefits and socializing this country. And the funny thing is, when they started getting a lot of immigrants in Switzerland and that, they didn't want them to come anymore because they weren't abiding by the rules and they were causing a lot of freaking trouble within the country. And they were like, good, call us Nazis. They said that. I published the Wall Street Journal article, and they said, good, let us be called Nazis. Then they won't want to come here anymore. So they said, we're giving them all this, and they're unappreciative. But the point is, they shouldn't have been giving them anything. They didn't earn it. It came in the backs of their citizens. And people in Europe were revolting. They wanted lower taxes. Lower taxes. Lower taxes. France moved it up to 90% almost. Remember Ronald Reagan? He became president because in California with state, federal, local taxes, he was paying 90 cents on a dollar to make a movie. So he only made 2 movies a year, Ronald Reagan. 2 movies a year. No incentive. He said, I'm not working for 10% on a dollar. I'll work for 90% on a dollar. The government can get 10 cents on a dollar. I'll keep 90 cents. So when the taxes were to move up, he stopped making the movies. He only made 2 movies a year. He used to produce movies. He understood and became president. He was a businessman. He wants to get paid for his work, the fruits of his labor. You want to give everybody everything. You want to take it away from the worker and give it to the non-worker. You want to take it away from the person that produces the most and give it to the people who produce the least. This is the most unrighteous place in the whole wide world, where you take it away from the most productive and you give it to the least productive. You reward them for being a scumbag. Why do you think Chicago is number 1 in gun violence and everything? And then high school dropout, college dropout, community college dropouts. Everybody's a dropout. No one finishes anything. There's no integrity. Everybody lies about, I got this degree, I got that degree. They don't got shit. They just lie. All you're teaching people is to be losers. Everybody can say whatever they want, and now you back them. Yeah, I've been in this for 20 years and 30 years. Like at Bajan's, the black guy. He lied to me. He didn't move like he's been behind a bar for 20 years. He sucks. I worked in bars. I can see if somebody's been behind a bar for 20 years. All these people lie. They don't have any of the smoothness. Watch Michael Jordan rookie year to later on and watch how much better he gets at everything. Truly, Tiger Woods, he gets better and smoother. So yeah, experience matters. So at Bajan's, that guy was lying to me. Everybody's lying to me. I've been this for this long. I've been that for that. No, you haven't. But everybody lies to me. This is the most anti-Christ society to ever exist in the history of mankind, where everybody thinks it's good to lie about how long they've been and their background and everything else. No one's a filthy scumbag anymore. Everybody, I never committed a crime. I never stole. I never cheated. How about I can't tell a lie? No more integrity. It's a beautiful night on the lake. Maybe there'll be a Halloween boat party. Who knows? But it's unbelievably sick. People have been lying to me unbelievably. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. No, you haven't. And so it's unbelievable the amount of people who have been lying to me on an everyday basis about who they are and what they do and what they've accomplished. I mean, this is one sicko world where you think lies go to heaven. God doesn't care about anything but the truth. So you can make yourself out to be something here. He's still going to try you for who you are. And oh yeah, because you lied about who you are, he's going to condemn you for that as well. So everybody is the Antichrist I come around. There is no longer any good people. Everybody lies about how long and I mean, it is a sicko world. So I mean, these people, I mean, it is ridiculous. At Vanguard, I told people how long I've been there. How long you been working there? 6 months, 1 year, and so on. I said I took 6 months of training plus licensing, everything else. to answer this phone call. So yeah, I'm a rookie, but I've been trained for the last 6 months. Plus I went to school, and I tell them, for economics and finance. Yeah, economics and finance. So yes, I have this degree in economics, and I studied finance, I studied philosophy and chemistry, and yeah. So yes, I have a lot of experience to answer this phone call. I didn't have to lie about things. I never lied about anything that I've been working at. I would just tell him my background, how I ended up there, and how this related to this, and this is my skill base. But it's interesting. And people did ask me that question. How long have you been in a... And seeing you answer, I tell them. And then I tell them about my college education and everything else. And they'd be like, okay. But they would ask me questions. Standard deviation, geometric return, whatever. And I'd answer the questions. And I helped them out with all their stuff. But I didn't lie about who I was. And if they caught me on the phone lying, they would have terminated me. If they caught me on the phone lying, I would have been terminated. Yeah, if I lied to a client, that is immediate grounds for termination. I remember my friend who worked for Chase, who did portfolio reviews, and I worked at Mutual of Omaha, and one of the producers lied to the client. He made up some story about returns. He didn't know the answer. Instead of saying he had Dan right next to him, who could have easily answered the question. Easily. If he understood what Dan did for Chase, he was supposed to be training him. Dan came in. He told me, Michael, I can't believe that, what's the name, Ethan, or forget his name, he lied to the client, and he made up an index and so on and so forth, and he lied to him. But the thing is, he could have just said, hey, my friend right here, that's what he did for Chase. He could answer that question. That's more his field of expertise than mine. And he was right there. He had all the resources he needed right at his left-hand side. So what did he do? He came back and told me, and he went inside and resigned. He quit immediately. Said, I can't work for this organization. I can't work for this organization. People here lie. I can't work for an organization where people lie. And so he immediately quit. He resigned. And he came outside and he said bye to me. Last time I saw him, he was going to work for some other company. Couldn't work for us anymore because we were not we. His person assigned to train him was a liar. So I can understand that. We're dealing in financial services. Like I told at MetLife when I was there. How can you have people that steal? They were stealing these computer cords and other things, people in the office. And I said, how can you have thieves work in financial service? You know, Bernie Madoff was a thief, and then many others who have stolen massively. And you can keep people in financial services that are thieves, that steal from their clients, that steal from other producers? How can they be in this business? The thieves. So, but it's funny, I don't do anything wrong and I lose my career. And all these people do all these evil things and they don't lose their career. It's interesting. The politicians can stay in office. All these people can stay in office. They can stay in these great positions. They can get all these benefits. I never got any of that. And I got unjustly terminated every single time. And who stayed behind? The wicked. The people that deserved to be terminated didn't get terminated. I got screwed. And I'm continuing to get screwed. And you're like, oh, you should take, really? All that socialized program, I get the same benefit as the most wicked people. My benefit on the socialized system is the same benefit of everybody else who's wicked. How is that just? I am at the bottom with the people deserve to be at the bottom. But Medicare and that, it doesn't differentiate good or bad. You all get the same benefits. Welfare, you all get good or bad. You all get the same benefits. Everybody gets the same benefit. So no matter how hard you work, you get the same benefits. So why work hard? That's what they did in the ghetto, right? They got the same housing voucher. They got the same welfare. They got the same Medicaid. So let's go out and rob, lie, cheat, steal, drop out of school, and because there's no punishment. They give you Medicaid if you drop out of school. They give you welfare if you drop out of school, right? That you get Medicaid if you have an abortion, right? You get welfare. Yeah, if you're on it and you continue on and you get all these benefits instead of like the pro-choice people that decide to keep the child and that, and they understand and they take responsibility and care. But everybody gets the same benefit no matter what they do, right? So I don't get it. So if you go to prison, you get felonies, you get out from being a felon, truly. And you get Medicaid and Medicare, housing vouchers, welfare, truly. You can go and get convicted of rape, and this is true, convicted of rape, you go to prison, okay, you serve your time, you come out, and you get the same benefits. You get the housing voucher, the Medicaid, the welfare, the same amount as somebody who never raped anyone. You can go to prison for manslaughter or murder and you get out in 7 years and you get the same Medicaid. You get the same welfare. You get the same housing voucher. Truly. The only thing it said in the system, if you defrauded them personally, Medicaid, housing voucher, welfare, but if you did any other form of crime, including murder, single, double homicide, whatever, and some reason you got released, then you get the same welfare. You get the same Medicaid. You get the same benefits. You get to earn the same Social Security. Truly, you go to work, you do your and they'll end up having the same Social Security benefit as me. So they'll go to work, they'll get out of prison, work for 20 years or so, and then they'll end up getting the same Social Security benefit that I'm going to receive. So how is there justice in the world when the most wicked end up, you put me in a situation where the most wicked end up living the same lifestyle as me? The same lifestyle as me. And remember, I started working as a child in this country. Then you get foreigners who come in that haven't been working in this country and building this country since childhood. But I have. And then they come into this country and then they serve their 20 years and they end up with the same benefits as me. Actually, they end up with more benefits than me. So all these people end up in better situations than me. And you're going to pay for all their bad decisions. All that health care, I've never taken any government health care. So I had some pills I got from Lake County, but that was it. And that was only one time. So I don't get it. Most of my whole life, the health care I had, I paid for myself. When I was at John Hancock, until they took it away, I had my own health care. And then I went on the exchange and had my own health care that I paid for out of my own pocket. So I paid for my own benefits. So I'm supposed to be lumped in with all these other people who haven't been busting their ass, who haven't gone through thick and thin, blood and tears, and I'm lumped in with them all, right? And I've been in this house for 19 years. I get off of 2 by, I think it's about a couple feet long and a foot wide. So maybe a 3 feet wide, and I forget, just a couple feet wide. And that I've been eating off of this small little nook. We had a fold-out one before for going on 19 years now. And I've been sleeping 2 in a room with my brother until recently. And he's got the bedroom. I sleep out in the living room. But this is going on 19 years, and me striving to make it. And that time I got all my designations, finished my college, got advanced certifications, and you name it. And I worked day and night, multiple jobs. I had feet issue, cognitive issues, and I stood out at Excalibur in the freezing over the winter and so on, outside, working the door. And then I had to deal with people with breaking up fights and violent issues and being at threat from blood and other things, dealing with people that have guns, which, yes, they had guns, and so on. And I've been doing this for the longest period of time. And so I had people swing at me and hit me and bite me and threaten me with guns and knives and so I'm supposed to live the same life as this person across from me. Right? The base life that I get, they get the same. But other people, they get to stay at the Park Hyatt. Or other people that don't have diabetes like me, they get to eat at Stan's Donuts, right? Because they can't cure my diabetes. So other people, they get to go to Stan's Donuts, they get to have coffee, they get to go to Giordano's, they get to go. But my life, you make me more and more sick, and you limit my options, and you take away everything like I'm some wicked person. And you give to them treatments that cure their cancer, that cure their heart disease, that all these people on Medicaid are getting all these treatments that are solving all their health issues, and I get to suffer. They can go to Whole Foods and wherever, and they get to live in these beautiful places downtown, and then just because there's some homeless guy on the bench, who the fuck cares? That's a willing choice. That's a choice of their own. So don't give me shit. I worked in homeless shelters and listened to all their stories. They made choices through their life, and they put themselves there. They could have chose to go the other way. They didn't. I chose to go the other way, and now you put me equal to some guy on the bench who made all the wrong choices. So now we're 2 equals. So how is that? How are we equal? But you're making me equal to everybody. Not only equal, you're doing it one worse. You make me worse than everybody. I'm poorer than everybody. I have more chronic illnesses. I have no friends. Everybody has all these friends, and they go to all these events, and And I don't have any of that. They go home every night and have sex with their girlfriend. I'm talking from a boy's standpoint. Or they have sex with their wife. And then they have a family. They go on vacations and Disney World and everything. And you think God gives a shit about the bum on the bench? That the bum is equal and deserves better. The only way you deserve better, as in the Bible, the fruits of your labor. So if that person doesn't want to pick themselves up and clean themselves up, then they're screwed. So they have to make a willing choice. But they should go to jail for loitering, their life should get even worse. In jail, in tent city, and then forced labor every day. Forced labor. And if you don't go to work, then you get caned. We used to have the chain gangs. You had to go to work. They had the chain gangs when I was in Arizona. When I was in Tent City, guess what? They had the chain gangs. Every morning, everybody in that prison had to get up and go to work. Everybody in that prison had to get up and go to work. And then if you couldn't, they had to evaluate you. And if you're lying, you got punished. So they looked for fakers. Oh yeah, fakers. I feel sick today. Yeah, we're going to check you out. So they look for people lying about, oh my, this hurts and that hurts. So they forced them to go to work. They had no choice but to work. And I saw lots of white people. The people across from me were white. And they were in a chain gang going to work. Yeah, lots of white people. And then Hispanics. But most of it, there's not many blacks in Arizona. So in Tent City, it was Hispanics and whites. And so there were a bunch of white people and Hispanic people that were going to work every day in chains. And they had no choice but to work. So I don't get it. So you're making my life worse and taking everything away to me, and the only thing in exchange you give me is a TV set. You can see the world through your TV. Well, everybody else, they can experience the world, but you can just see the world through the TV. But they can go out and see the world. They can go to this country, that country, they can go all over the place. Like Sylvia, my client, in 2015, she went to Turkey. And she came back and told me it was awesome. And oh yeah, my friend Ross, his brother, he lives in Turkey doing tourism. He's a Jew. And he lives in Turkey, and he's with a Muslim woman, and they have a business. She owns it, a tourist business. And he's a Jew, she's a Muslim. And they have a thriving business and a great relationship. And he said, I asked him, have you ever had any problems as a Jew in Turkey? And he said, nope. I've never had problems with any of the Muslims. And our business does very well in Turkey. You know, it's the largest Muslim country that's part of NATO, the North American Treaty Organization. Turkey, the largest Muslim country, part of NATO. So it's interesting. He's never, ever had a problem as a Jew in Turkey. And he's dating, and you would say statutory marriage. I don't know if they officially got married. But my other friend, Jeff, he's an Orthodox Jew, and he married a Muslim woman and had a baby. And I think the picture I saw was a cute baby. She was a very attractive Muslim lady. And Jeff's father, who's an Orthodox Jew, blessed the marriage. He's an Orthodox Jew. And he blessed his son's marriage to a Muslim woman. And the funny thing is, Jeff married way above. She is very good looking. And he is not that good looking, and his manners are not that great. But he is very good at what he does. So she didn't marry an idiot. But looks and mannerisms, Jeff's lower on the scale. But he got a very attractive female. She was a very beautiful Muslim girl. Way above his ability. But she needed what he had, and he needed what she had. Truly. And it's not like they went into it with their eyes closed. He knew that but she had certain things that she wanted, certain things that he had, and vice versa. But understanding, and they love each other from my understanding. Truly, they truly love each other, but they're not blind to why they got into the relationship, what the trade-offs were in the relationship. But that makes the relationship very good because they understand each other's reasoning for entering the relationship. And I don't know exactly on both sides, but he had things that she wanted, and she was overlooking his little bit less of mannerisms and his lack of good looks. And he got what he wanted. He wanted a more physically beautiful female. So it's not like they didn't know this going off. It's not like they didn't understand this. So, but the funny thing is, it makes the marriage on fair ground. Everybody understands that, yes, you had less of this, but this is why I love you. Like Glow and Brad, they got up there and did the whole thing on marriage. And they had the thing, what do you hate about me? What do you love about me? What do you hate about me? I'll work on those things. What do you love about me? And he didn't get pissed when she said, and it took her a while. She couldn't think of something. And then he was coming through, pushing her in a wheelchair to a doctor's appointment. And he did something. And she said, stop. And she said, what you just did now, that's what I hate about you. I hate that about you. And he said, duly noted. I'll work on that. So he told the story in front of our singles congregation. Everybody in the room was single, thinking about dating. But it would have been good for dating couples and married couples too, because they were a married couple. So, and he was talking about Glow is an Asian girl. She has a sweetheart, but look-wise, she's average. Brad is a much better looking male. Brad is a much better looking male. So in that way, Glow was going up, but Glow had things that Brad wanted, that it was less about the looks and more about the other attributes. So Brad and Glow got more about the looks and a little less about certain other attributes. So she wanted somebody a little bit better looking. Brad, has a good figure, a good body, and so on. He's going a little bit broad, but Brad's a good looking man with, a very manly figure, very well built. And Glow knows that, or knew that. She's dead, God rest her soul. I love the girl. But the whole point is, going into these things, they understood what drew them into the marriage and what the trade-offs were, what they were also giving up by accepting each other, what they were lacking. So they understood the trade-offs, what they were gaining and what they were giving up. And so that's where you make the left and right side, the pros and the cons, and then you see if the pros outweigh the cons. And this person, I'm willing to do these things, but the goodness outweighs the negative. And so no matter what happens in a relationship, you're always at a positive, because that natural characteristics about them are the things you love the most. And the things that they do negative aren't the things you dislike the most. So you end up with a positive all the time, even with these little negative habits. And so sometimes it could be a little less of the looks you want, and it's maybe more of the body you want. Less of the face, more of the body, more of the face, less of the body. But those are trade-offs as well. But you understand this going in, and you end up happy, always happy, because you got the positive, which was greater than the negative can ever be. Unless they let the positive turn into a negative, what you love the most becomes negative. But if you pick the right person, those are their foundational beliefs, and they don't change. So what's good today will be good tomorrow. So, you have to understand that. And so, yes, you got to make a pro and cons list, and you got to figure out what's the most important for you on this. And these got to be your most important things. And so those are the highest, and then you rank them from most important to least important. And then you figure out, does that person have a certain amount of most important, and they don't have these least important? So if an Ivy League school is number 1, then they have to have number 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So, they might not have the Ivy League, but you're willing to take a second-tier school. And I don't know what that would be. So, Northwestern, but so it's not in the top few. When I say Ivy, I think at Harvard, number 1, and depending on the major of the school, they can be number 1. So the whole point is that certain things weigh higher or lower than you. Yeah, profession. Maybe it's very important for you to marry somebody in a certain profession, but you find somebody that's not in that profession, but do they fill your 2, 3, 4, and 5? So you have to do the pros and cons and make sure that they weigh strongly on the pro side, and they got the minor negatives, not the major negatives. Now, number 1 was like, say, Harvard, and you married somebody from Yale. Okay, it's a little less, but again, they have other things that outweigh that. So, anyways, the whole point is that, yes, you can find the right situation and always be happy with it if you find that this pros and cons are high on your positives. And if not, some people can build into those things. And if you're willing to work with them and they're willing to work, maybe they build into those things. They're not your number 1, 2, or 3, but for some reason you want to give them a shot. They have 4 or 5, but there's something about it. Je ne sais quoi, the French says, something special. Really, it means something special about them that you can't put your hand on. There's this je ne sais quoi, something. So you don't know what it is, but you have this gravity towards them, but they don't make these things that are in your top tier, but they're willing to work towards these things. So they can become the person you want. Now, you're taking on a project, but if you're honest going into it, you set the goals to get there, and they end up being what they want, and there's things on their side they want as well. It's not a one-way street. So it's a two-way street, so there's things they want on their side as well. So you both can work towards your desired person then. Because some reason you want to be in this because of this je ne sais quoi, or you say you have this feeling or this chemistry, but you don't know what it is, but some reason it works, and what your priorities are in a person, they don't quite have them, but they're willing to go there. Now, if they have the je ne sais quoi and not willing to work at these things, eventually the je ne sais quoi will disappear, and those things that you want in the person, they'll destroy the relationship. So, anyways,